Started yet, but cool, perfect. Recording has started as well. So yeah, I'll quickly introduce myself. Also, my name is Jasleen. I am currently the RST OGT for Asia Pacific, and I'm specifically responsible for the attraction project in the region. And I am also the VP OGT Select for ISEC in India. So it's really nice to see you all here. And yeah, uh, the recording has started, right? If someone can please confirm.
Yes, Justin, it's being recorded.
Amazing. Thank you for confirming. So yeah, so let's quickly jump into the session objective, what you can expect to know from this space. Like I mentioned that this space is an attraction review space, right? So what we will be talking about is we will be understanding the current state and direction of GTA GT products, which are, I mean, the most recent products we've had. So let's see, like in the past 1 year or so, what have we done in terms of attraction and how things have been for us. And then jumping into the AP context, we'll try to see on a regional level how these things have turned out for us, how we have proceeded with certain regional strategies or way forward that we have had as a region in terms of attraction. And this is where you can also, get certain insights and take certain takeaways from the space to in order to see if there are certain things that you can implement in your entity as well. And lastly, what Fatih also mentioned in the previous space, specialization is something that we are aiming towards. So this space will also aim at attraction specialization in terms of getting to know certain things that we should be looking at in terms of how we can be specialized in terms of the attraction that we're doing. So throughout the space, you will get to, like I said, you will get to see a lot of insights, and there are certain brainstorming spaces, or you'll get that particular headspace wherein you can brainstorm on the things that you can do for your entity, and just start preparing for your attraction peak when your term will be starting, right? So yeah, a quick expectation setting also for the session. So first thing is a just attentive and participate, because there are please try to manage your energy well on the same, and be a little participative. There's like a couple of interactive things also in the session, and this is your own space. I mean, these are your own people and your own commission, so don't be shy. And yeah, and also another important thing which you all already know, that this is sort of like a regional context to what we will be talking about, right? So make sure that you are keeping the bigger picture of the region in the mind, and at the same time you are trying to connect everything to your entity, right? So of course all of these things that we talk about here will be things that you would be able to relate to, but yeah, just focus on specifically trying to understand what are the things that your entity should be most looking into when we talk about attraction. So yeah, that's it. So in order to check in, we will be playing like a quick game. And don't worry, this will not require you to like get up or do any physical activity or anything, because we have the AP rapid fire. So we will have like a series of questions coming on the screen like one by one. These questions will be related to Asia Pacific, um, GT itself. So for each question, there will be three options. So you'll have like option one, two, three. So you just guess the answer, and type that answer in the chat box as well. And yeah, let's see what is the first question. So the first question is the total number of OGT opens in AP so far. So you have to guess like right from when the product started until now. Oh, sorry. I don't know if someone saw the answer, but yeah, okay. Sorry for the spoiler, but yeah, the correct answer is 2, which is 11,966. So yeah, sorry for spoiling it, but let's look at the next question. So yeah, this question will be really important for you if you are looking to create IR partnerships in the AP region specifically. So you would want to know what is the most in-demand background that AP IGTA is looking for. Is it 1 marketing, 2 BA, or 3 engineering? So I see mostly people are saying 1. I think almost everyone has said 1 so far. So yeah, let's see which is the correct answer. It is 1. So it is marketing. And I've also put the numbers here. You can see, so these numbers include the live opportunities as well as certain expired opportunities, just to get a better understanding. I mean, just to include more data, but yeah, overall we currently had 222 marketing opens, and then it was followed by IT and closely followed by BD. So this is how the demand goes. So if you mostly have people from these fields, then of course AP is a very good region for you to get your IRs from. And yeah, so the next question is how many OGTE applicants we have had so far. So all the GTE people in the house, and even if you're not, then I guess you can still get. So which one is it? Okay, mostly, okay, so far we have 3, 2, 1. It's pretty scattered, I think, this time. 2, okay, I think now we have a majority on 2. And yes, it is in fact the right answer. It is 559 applicants we've had for GTE so far. So, I mean, like it's still growing. There also growing interest in the region. This one is a really interesting question. So let's talk about the current open to applied ratio for OGTA. So do you think it will be 18%, 32%, or 26%? 1, 2, or 3? Which one is it going to be? 3. Okay, we have 3, 3, 3. 1 also we have. 1. Okay. Let's see if we have the right answer. So the right answer is 26%. So we just talked about the sign-ups, and total applicants is the number that you see there on the screen. So if you look at the conversion, it is 26%. So yeah, that was it for the game, like the small trivia game. I felt really good, like getting those game show host vibes, and I hope you also got a little bit of a glimpse about how our region is in terms of attraction. How is it doing so far? So now let's get down to business. Now let's like start talking about attraction properly. So yeah, firstly, like the most important question that we want to address right now, getting into the space, is why are we here in the first place, right? Like if you are, I mean, if you're thinking that I am a VP OGT and I don't know what I'm doing in an attraction review space, like why do I need to know all of this, or how much do I need to concern myself with attraction? So these are all very valid questions. So that's why we'll start a discussion with your role in attraction itself, right? So yeah, here are some common mistakes that people usually tend to make, like I mean a VPOG team might make um, in terms of their yeah, in terms of attraction, right? So one of the mistakes could be not having non-negotiables. So this essentially happens when let's say you do not have a clear distinction between what marketing is doing, between what OGT is doing. So this sort of creates I mean, some sort of mix-ups, or I mean, we don't really know who is doing what. And as a matter of fact, you do not have and responsible for anything, and you do not have any non-negotiables individually, right? And the other two common mistakes that you see here will seem like it's sort of interrelated, right? So there's over dependence on marketing and there's under dependence on marketing. But these are in fact like two extremes of what like a faulty synergy would lead to. So there can be a time where, let's say, a VP OGT might feel that attraction is something that is solely marketing's job, and it's not something that they should be concerned with. Like, yeah, I mean, my marketing is taking care of it, or whatever my marketing is doing, I'm fine with it. I'll just focus on my own conversions, approvals, and stuff. And there can also be a situation where marketing and OGT are like just in their own completely different worlds, and they are, like their own lone soldiers of, okay, I will do my own stuff. And I mean, there's no synergy, there's no communication. They just do their own stuff and do not communicate, do not synergize. So of course, all of these situations that we just mentioned are not ideal situations, because then we are not able to get the most out of what we can get, right? So cool. So now in order to like here are like a few things that, I mean, right now we'll be covering just a few things that you can do in order to avoid making these common mistakes. So in the following slides, what you will see, here are like just a couple of screenshots that I've taken from the marketing OGT synergy booklet. Like it's a guideline booklet that was flown down recently by AI. So in this particular part where you see, these are the overview of main responsibilities, right? So if you saw previously how we discussed about non-negotiables, right? So this is what this will help you out with. This will help you out in creating a distinction between your job role with you and your VP marketing, so that you both can clearly understand what are the responsibilities that you both have, what are the domains that you need to work in, what are the areas that you need to work in. And this as such is pretty, relatable. Like these are probably things that are already there in your entities. But even if you feel there, you might want to make certain adaptations, and if that is making sense to you, then that's completely fine. But to most extent, this will be true for your entity already, right? So what this recommends is that for marketing should be specifically the specialist of market, as in terms of like your local market, understanding the market trends, the market realities, uh, how to target audience, what target audience to reach out to, how to reach out to them, what messages to give, how to communicate, things like that. Where product head, or in this case specifically the VP OGT, will be the product specialist who will know everything about the GT product, everything to do with the global context, what is currently happening, everything to do with IR. So as VP OGT, you are the person who are experts in product, who know your value proposition inside out, who know your I mean, who knows how to, who knows what personas to tap, for example, who knows what countries to promote, for example, taking into account your IR and things like that, right? So this is why it's really important for the both of you to get all of these things aligned and work together for it. So even if you individually know about your responsibilities, but that is also just a part of it. It is incomplete if you are not bringing these things together in order to be on the same page and work together on things together, right? So this is how this is how you can do the together working together part. So you can look at like a sales funnel. I'm believing most of you are already familiar with the concept, but if you're not, then it's basically like the customer flow itself. So you can look at your sales funnel, and you can, uh, you can map out how you want your sales funnel to be like in terms of your synergies, right? So what you can do is that for each stage of your sales funnel, you can have an end responsible between you and marketing. And then after that, what you can do is you can look at the activities, or look at the common knowledge points that both of you will need to have for each of the stage. And individually, what are the things you will need to work on for the stage, and then also how will you take things forward in your commission for this, right? um, so what will you flow down in the commission? What matrix will you use to track them? What matrix will you use for, to track things for yourself also? So things like that. I mean, these are some of the criteria that you can take into account when you are mapping or creating this map of sales funnel for each stage of your sales funnel. So that's why I put the screenshot just for you to get like a better idea of what exactly I mean. This is the first stage of aware. So this is how they've put it down. But like I said, that you can actually, what you can actually do is that you can, like I said, check out this booklet for more information and take it as a call to action to actually synergize with your VP marketing and create this flow for your own entity as well. So I think, Rakshita, if you've already shared yeah, perfect, you've shared the link. Thank you. So Rakshita has already shared the link also in the chat, but apart from that, check it out. Um, when we share the output, also the link is already there. So yeah, cool. So now that we are clear with our role and what we need to do with attraction. So now, how do we proceed from here? Like, how do we start with whatever it is that we're supposed to do in attraction? So for this, what we can do is we can look at data, right? And why we should look at data is because without data, you're just another person with an opinion. So this is like a very common and very interesting thing that's there about data. And I think this makes a lot of sense because uh, data is what gives you certain objective insights into whatever you're looking at. So it will tell you objectively what is actually happening, and then accordingly you can, create your own way forward, or out what certain actions that you need to take with regards to things and things like that, right? So this is just one aspect where you will be using data, but otherwise you will be using data for a lot of things in general for the term. So that will definitely be there. But yeah, right now let's look at how, or let's look at what the data tells us about our attraction as. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I was saying that you can see all of the 8 entities are here, and you can see how their performance has went so far in the opens and applicants, right? Because these are the two most important metrics when we look at attraction. Like if you want to tell, or if you want to see how good or bad our attraction is, these are two metrics that we take into account. So yeah, you can see some of the entities who have like a lot of opens. Let's say India, let's take Indonesia, let's say Pakistan, Sri Lanka. So these are some of the entities who have a lot of numbers in their opens, right? So probably this is one area where you want to work in. If you want to increase the numbers or get more numbers for your entity, you can use this conference as a platform and try to talk to these entities and try to see if there's certain things that you can carry forward from there. Similarly, you can see here the sign up to apply it for all of these entities, and we can see that it's actually not that scattered. Like it's pretty much, I mean, we're almost on the same page here and there, like in terms of the conversion rate. Um, so yeah, we see like a couple of entities in green also, and overall, the average, as we previously saw in our quiz, that if we have an average of 26% conversion rate for GTA, right? And now talking about GTE, so in this, like not all of the entities that you see here are actually entities who are running the product, but at least the ones who have numbers are majorly entities who are actually running the product. So you can see that we're doing pretty decent in GTE also, as I mentioned. Like how we are growing, or how in general the interest of the region in GTE is also, I mean, eventually it's growing. So one thing that you can observe here is that we have more entities in green here, right? In terms of the sign up to apply. So that's an observation that we have also come down to when we look at GTE, that GTE overall has better conversion rates as compared to GTA. One of the reasons can be that GTE, let's say has more diverse fields, and I mean, in general, there's a lot more diversity when you compare it to GTE, which is a little bit more specific, right? Like, I mean, as a product of teaching. So yeah, but this is probably one important observation that we can make here. And yeah, so now just looking at these numbers might or might not give you a very good picture of, I mean, what does this mean? Like, what does this mean for our region? So this is why we can now see how our attraction is going. Like if we compare it on a regional level, so we can see that for OGTA, our entity contributes to 24% of the global sign-up. So globally, the sign-up to applied ratio is 44%, but ours is 26%, which we just saw, right? So as we can see that specifically for the conversion rate, we can, I mean, there's probably still a room for improvement that we can actually work on. So that's something that we can take forward, right? So based on this, here are like a couple of questions that we can ask ourselves. So like I said, these are questions that we can ask ourselves as a region. So this probably means that your entity also, I mean, you can do this for your own entity as well, because probably it will make sense for your entity also. So why is it that we are not having the most ideal, ideal sign up to applied ratio? Like, why are these people not applying? Is it because we are not generating the right kind of people? Like, are we just not targeting the right audience in the first place? Or has it got more to do with the nurturing part? Like, is it more about how we are getting these people, or like how we are contacting these people, how we are following up with them, how we are providing consultancy to them? Like, do they even know how to apply, where to apply, things like that? So these are certain questions like that I want to sort of leave you with for probably later. And yeah, like now let's dig deeper into the Asia Pacific people analytics. So this is not just a fancy term, by the way, that I made, but it's actually a thing, and it's a thing that exists on Expa. So you can actually check it out. It's pretty cool. And I promise that Expa has not paid me or anything. Like, this is not a paid ad or anything, but I've anyway put the screenshot there if you guys want to check it out, if you want to know where to go, what to do. But yeah, you can check it out if you haven't already. What this basically tells you is that it gives you an analysis, or it gives you like a specific things that you can look at in terms of the people who are signing up. So in the following slides, I'll just show you the people analytics of the region. And like I said, that this will be relevant for you specifically if you feel that your entity right now does not have a lot of data to go about, which you can work on. So you can actually draw inferences right from this regional data itself. But in case you want to do it for your entity also later on, that's also like that will also be pretty good. So I can just tell you how this is, I mean, how you can go about it, right? So for the so this is the product interest part. So for this, you can see like a breakdown of the people who are signing up. How many of them are interested in our products of GTA and GTE? You can see that in the picture. The gray part are the people who haven't really chosen a product interest at all. So even if you remove that part, you can just see that from the others, what is the percentage of, like, like for example, in this picture, you can see that it's pretty much very close when you look at GV and GTA GTE. So accordingly, you can check it out for your own entity also. And second thing is the age breakdown. So this is specifically very, I mean, this can specifically be very insightful for our product, because herein we can check like an age breakdown, right? So we can see how many people are following in which particular age group. So here you can see that overall as a region, we are focusing more on the most youngest part of our, our entire spectrum of age. We can see that a lot of people are falling into the category of 18 to 21, followed by 22 to 25. So you can check this out for your own entity also. How this will help you is it will help you in understanding if you are targeting the right persona. For example, if your entity is focusing, let's say, on long term, and because of that, you need personas following in the 22 to 25 category or 26 to 28 category, whatever, you can check that. Let's say that is not where most of your people are coming from, then you know that this is a potential bottleneck. There is a potential bottleneck in the people that you're targeting itself. Like, you're not targeting the right people itself to begin with. So yeah, this is how you can use this analysis also. And lastly, this is the top backgrounds that we have had for Asia Pacific. So the people who are signing up from the region are mostly from number one, BA background, then computer science background, and marketing background. So these are the top three. And it makes a lot of sense if you look at it this way, because these are the backgrounds that will, that are relevant to the fields that we offer, right? So, these are BA, IT, marketing background that we have projects in these fields also. So this means that as a region, mostly we are generating the right leads, the right profiles and right backgrounds of leads. But not just this, you can actually dive deeper into this also. You can actually see that for each of the fields, what sort of conversion are you getting? Like, what is your funnel for each of this particular field that you are generating leads out of? So let's say from the business administration background, based on how many signups you're getting, from them, how many are applying, how many are accepted, how many are approved. So likewise, you can do it for the other backgrounds also. So this will not just tell you in terms of opens what is working out well, but even in terms of potential. Like, it could be that you are generating a lot of opens in a given field, but none of them are getting converted. So this can mean that there's something going wrong there, right? So that's probably an area where you would need to work in. So just to summarize whatever data we just saw, these are some of the questions that you would be able to answer by the end of analyzing all of this data. Like I said previously, you can do this for your own entity. Firstly, are you aware to what extent your signups are aligned to your targeted persona? Again, look at their age breakdown as we saw here, and look at other information that you would need for this in order to see if we are having the right strategies at the first place, right? Then to what extent are you generating opens in the fields that your IRs have opportunities in? Like I mentioned in the previous slide also, like if you are generating a lot of opens in a given field, but then that's not a field where you will usually get opportunities with your IR partners, then you don't really have a project to offer to them at all, right? So this is another thing that you can take into account in terms of your attraction also. And like I said, all of this has to do with attraction itself. It's not related to conversion, right? It's not just attract anyone, but it is about attracting the right people, right? And Again, what results are you getting from each of these, like the campaigns, the markets, personas, channels, whatever you're looking at right now? What is the turnout from them? Like, what is the outcome? What does the funnel look like for everything, like we saw previously, right? So, like I said, this is like food for thought for you. These are questions that you can ask yourself. You can check it out for your own entity. You can keep these questions with you and work on them later on, brainstorm on them with the right data and with the right insights after talking to your current also probably. So yeah, and yeah. So yeah, like I promised, we will now be also looking at the current state of review for, I mean, attraction, how things are happening, how things are flowing down from the top uh, to us. So let's look at what is the global direction with regards to attraction. Here are some of the most important key points that you can keep in mind in terms of uh, how things are for us from the global perspective. So one of the most important things right now, I mean, I would say the most important thing is promoting safe exchanges, right? So of course, with the current context, we need to be careful in terms of, firstly, are we sure that we are promoting safe exchanges or not, right? So that's something that we need to ask to ourselves, right? Are we sure about it? Are we taking all the right steps that we need to take in order to ensure that we are promoting safe exchanges in the first place? And if we are, then we also need to also take into account how our market would react to it, right? So if tomorrow you are promoting your product in the market, you need to at least have some sensing or at least have some idea as to how your market would react to it, or how accepting the market would be in terms of this attraction, right? So you need to be extremely careful that you are not creating any content or not promoting any content that might be insensitive to your market, because that of course will do much more harm than good. So these are things that I mean, we need to be extremely careful about. The next thing is OP specific marketing. This is not just in the current context, but it's something that's very relevant to GT also, because of the entire product being new and change management and all. S&D has become like a big burning topic right now, and uh, which is why certain entities have already started adapting to the concept of OP specific marketing, like being more specific with our attraction itself, like promoting certain fields, promoting certain countries that are our partners. This ensures that the people who are getting attracted already are getting attracted in the right way, like by the right messages. And I mean, we know that they have gotten the right information when they are coming to the funnel in the first place. So and the more you promote countries, the more control, I mean, you need to have control over the sort of countries that you're promoting right now. In terms of their COVID scenario, everything should be good to go. Everything should be good to go with the visa, with the regulations. And yeah, lastly, there has also been certain adaptations in the campaigns that we're having. So there's a global campaign that AI regularly downscales to the network, and one of the adaptations it had in one of its like recent versions was planned for later. So this was a tagline that was used. Certain entities who were doing ELD currently, but not for immediate realizations. So, for example, ISEC in India was one such entity. In the previous, like the winter peak semester, they used this campaign to do promotion for summer realization, right? So you can actually check their B2C page out in order to see how they use this particular campaign. You can talk to your marketing to know more about things, and see how you can also work on these sort of campaigns that are more relatable or a little bit more flexible, and I mean, make more sense right now if that is your, depending on your current realities of the entity. And yeah, now let's dig deep into the regional strategies that we had. So as a region of AP, what are the strategies that we had with attraction? So the first strategy that we had is the standardized GTJDs. This was something that we had in the second semester of last year, right? So this was a framework that standardizes how GT opportunities should look like in terms of fields, expected JDs, backgrounds, qualifications, etc. So this was basically a framework that was used by IGT and OGT both. And specifically, I will be talking about OGT. For OGT, the most important objectives, there were two most important objectives. one was about membership education in terms of sales capacity, and the second was one was along the lines of personas. So one of the reasons why we were focusing on this is we observed that mostly OGT membership are not that trained in terms of sales. Like they just know, I mean, in best case scenario, they would just know how to sell the product and value proposition, but they will not know about the fields that they are selling or the JDs or uh, I mean, if EPs ask them any questions, they will about the project as such, they will most probably not know what to say, right? So this is why using this framework, entities were educating their OGT membership about the kind of opportunities that we provide people with, right? Which, of course, improve their own understanding of what they are selling, and in turn, it also improved the sort of consultancy they were providing to the EP. So, I mean, through this, like indirectly, what I mean, what this is also something that it helped with is that it also helped us in providing better services as OGT to our EPs. So that was first. And secondly, because the framework also having what sort of opportunities they are looking for, what sort of requirements they are having for these opportunities, it also helps OGT to better plan their pre-attraction, right? So in pre-attraction and attraction consequently. So they were able to understand, they were able to accordingly create personas that they could see that, okay, if IGT is looking for DC where I can find these profiles in my market, and then make those personas target those specific markets that they know they will get results out of, and things like that. So these are just like a few examples. But in general, if you want to know more about it, the link is like there. You can check it out later after the session. You can check out the whole framework, and I have also added like a few screenshots for, I mean, the, so we did like a 2-week ICOM campaign to downscale this entire framework. So these are just a few screenshots from there just to educate people on the usage of the tool and how they can make the most out of it. So yeah, you can in general just check all of this out and see how you can, if there's something that you feel you can take forward for your commission also in future. And this is the second strategy that we had as a region, which was the OGT supply qualification QLM. This is actually something that's ongoing, and it's like a major focus right now for the region. So this is an SOP-based framework that aims at generating quality opens, right? So how we started off with this particular thing is that we knew, sorry, we were able to diagnose the fact that quality opens is something that has been like an ever longing debate. Like we talk a lot about quality, but we as such we don't really know what is quality. Like we cannot objectively define what is quality, and what are the characteristics of a quality lead, how do we get a quality lead, how do we measure a quality lead. So these were some of the things that QLM solved, is that it was able to come up with a system of lead scoring. Like we were able to lead our, we were able to score our leads, whatever we were getting in ranks of 1, 2, and 3. Like rank 1 being the most desirable, so that way you can understand what category of ranks your leads are falling into, and you can understand if you are attracting the right amount, like right quality of leads or not. So it was an SOP based framework. I have just a couple of screenshots that I feel are most important for attraction. So I'll share this. This was one of the things that we did in pre-attraction, which was a JD specific mapping. So we mapped out whatever our IRs are looking forward to in terms of the fields, JDs, in terms of the IR requirements, and use that information. Using that information, LCs came up with their own attraction strategies. So this is how it became really easy for entities to align their supply and demand by, I mean, having the right information and working on that for their attraction, right? So accordingly, they came up with like what personas to target, where to find these people, what markets to go to, how to reach them, what strategies to use, and things like that. And another part that I'd like to share about the framework is the marketing effectiveness part. So this is the part where analysis is done. So whatever data you put down in this framework, it gives you an analysis of I mean, all of this is automated. So you just have to fill the data, and it tells you what your current leads look like what categories they're falling into, what fields, what durations, things like that. And if you look down below, you can see the rank things that I just mentioned, right? So the graph that you see in the end also visualizes that what categories of ranks are your leads following into. So is it rank 1, 2, or 3? So I mean, of course, like I mentioned, rank, if you have rank 1 majority, then that means that you are in the right direction, right? You are attracting the right people, and you are attracting people who are the most potential for you to get, I mean, get approvals from or convert in general, right? So yeah, this is just a glimpse of what these two strategies entailed. And like I said, you can refer to the links. This link is also there in the PPT. You can refer to this link for more information. And you can see if you want to take this thing forward for your entity, everything you can make adaptations wherever needed. So if you think that this is something you want to do, you can just let me know. I would also love to hear from you and see what we can do together on this. And yeah, so now we've talked a lot about attraction and we've discussed a lot of things about strategies and everything, but like what do we do from here, and like now what do we do, where do we go, right? So from here we are going to our very own way forward. So this is where you guys come in. Like, it is your time to shine now, guys. uh, so you will evaluate the attraction of your own entity right now and create a plan to work on for improving your attraction, right? So yeah, and how will we do this? We will do this through a car model. So I hope that some of you might already be familiar with this particular model, but I will anyway just explain this model quickly. So a car model is a 5-step framework used for change management. And so since it also puts a lot of focus on the people aspect, it is used by change leaders around the world. So so yeah, so what will happen is, like, of course, you will have your own commission, right? And if you are looking at changing anything, or if there's any strategy also in general that you're looking at downscaling, you would need your commission support in that. Like, in fact, they will be the ones who will be doing the actual stuff, right? So this is where a car can help you. So a car goes in a flow. Like, these are like steps that you follow one by one. The first thing, we start with the awareness. We start with the need for you. I mean, it's as simple as that. Awareness of the need to change. You need to be aware that there is a need for you to change. You need to know that, okay, I need to change something. Why do I need to change that particular thing? So you look at what is currently happening, what you need to do, and that will give you clarity on where you need to go from here, right? So what do you need to change, you will get by the end of this stage. Then comes the desire part, where you where you get your people into the picture. So this is where, like I said, that your people will also need to be on the same page with regards to why there is a need for change. So you need to downscale things to them. You need to have that communication, so that, and as an end result, like the end result that we are looking forward to is that they should be able to relate to your change or your cause and be able to support you and take part in that change, right? Then comes the part of knowledge. So the knowledge of how to change, like what are certain knowledge gaps that you might have currently, what are certain things that you might want to know in order to change, is in this part. So this is where you need to cover those knowledge gaps. Then comes the ability to implement the change. So this simply means anything and everything that you need in order to be able to change. So herein you talk about skills, you talk about let's say even attitudes and behaviors, things like that. And lastly, reinforcement to sustain the change, because of course, if you just do the change management process, I mean, eventually it will just get monotonous, boring. And yeah, that's why it's also important for you to appreciate people, celebrate the wins, and do reviews, see how things are going, and have certain way forward for reinforcement. So yeah, so yeah, now we will be doing this for our entity. Like I said, just look at your current attraction practices or strategies and what do you want to change about it. So this is what you will need to do with this Adkar model to sort of create a plan of action for yourself, for like a way forward for your attraction. And once again, this is the slide that we previously saw when we were looking at data, right? So I've just put this slide here once again. If you guys want to probably, I mean, have these questions as starters, because I mean, right now, probably you might be confused, like, I don't know where to start. Like, there are so many things that you can do. So how do I know what to do, right? So these are questions that can sort of help you start thinking on when you start with this activity, so you can think of these questions and don't just restrict yourself to these questions, but think more, brainstorm on what more you would want to know or do for better attraction. So yeah, these are things that you can do. You can take a screenshot of this also right now if you feel that you want to look at it. And yes, a very important disclaimer right now, that it is completely okay for you to not have the right answers, like right now, not have answers, because like, of course, this is a transitional phase and you are not like 100% into the role. We are still in our way right now. So it's completely fine. Don't overthink, don't overstress, and don't get confused. The entire, like, the more important part of this activity is for you to start thinking and to start discussing, start working. So the important part is that you at least start the process. That's what is the objective of this activity. So yeah, we have the worksheet here. I will just show you the worksheet also once. um, how this worksheet needs to be filled. And also this activity you essentially need to do like by yourself, because of course this is for your own entity. But just for the sake of like, if I'm sure that all of you also are interested to talk to each other and see if there are certain things you can know from each other or discuss. So we will anyway be putting you in breakout rooms also once the activity starts. Rakshita, you can get the breakout rooms ready. Meanwhile, I work on, like, I just tell them how to go about the activity. Yeah, so this is the sheet. There's just one tab. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Rakshita. So there's just one tab. So you literally just need to copy and, sort of duplicate, sorry, duplicate this tab and name it your, by like your entity, write it here, write it here. This is just some information. You already know this, but I just put it down for the sake of understanding if anyone wants to check, like read through. What you need to do is basically this, like the card is here and I've put down certain guiding questions so that this will help you brainstorm on these particular topics, like for awareness, for desire, for knowledge. I've even put notes if you want more clarity on the concept as such, but yeah, you can focus on the guiding questions and you can use this space as much as you want, like use it freely. Like I said, just jot down whatever is coming to your mind, don't worry. uh, just write down randomly whatever you want to write here for your for awareness, for desire, for knowledge. And yeah, and also one important thing, like when you are brainstorming on attraction, by the end of your brainstorming you will get to see what is the thing that you want to change. So then once you have that, you just fill that here, fill after the awareness phase. So your change to implement, don't fill it like at the starting itself, because right now you won't know, but after awareness only, once you have clarity on what to change, you fill that, right? So cool. This is the activity. Yeah, Malaysia, thank you for the proactivity. Already made the tab. Cool. I think before we move to breakout room, if anyone has any doubts, please ask right now. Then we can move to our breakout room. I'm assuming that no one has doubts. Yeah, thanks. Um, I will also copy paste this here. Cool. So I think we can start with the activity, and I think we can have, how much time do we have? Fatih, are you here?
I'm here.
Cool. Fatih, can we have 6 minutes for this?
How much time do you have left?
Yeah, I think just 5 minutes more after that.
1 second, let me check.
I think we can have 5 minutes then, because I think we
Justin,
are
you still have 20 minutes.
I have 20 minutes.
No, 10
No,
minutes
isn't this
with the break. 10 minutes without the break.
Yeah,
20 minutes including the break to the next session.
yeah, but it's okay. I think, cool. Let's have 8 minutes then. I think just to strike a balance, so you guys get a little bit of break also. But yeah, because I want that you guys can actually get time to talk to each other also while you do the activity. So yeah, it will be good. I think 8 minutes is fine. You can talk to each other, and even if the time is not enough, just do whatever you like, whatever you can do right now. Just start working on it and do as much as you can through this activity. And yeah, I think we can put people in the breakout rooms. I think we can start the breakout rooms. Rakshita, if you're ready.
Yeah, we are good to go.
Cool. Rakshita, you can put people in breakout rooms. Thank you, Rakshita. So yeah, if anyone wants to share, then please let me know now. Uh, going for
Okay, so can I talk something?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Apart from desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement, like I could really reflect on the things that we need to change regarding the marketing for attraction. So and that comes in synergy with marketing. So looking at my entity, we have very less synergy between marketing and like product in general. So
Hmm.
and also the attraction is not done based on the SND. So based on country people are being very specific. It is done like randomly with
Hmm.
random viewers and like by
Hmm.
sharing
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
random IRs as well. So I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is hampering us for to increase in conversion rate. So that is something that we have to really focus on. And also like from this year, I'm planning to invest a little bit more on marketing so that like we could actually further to increase the product promotion itself, and from there we can filter out the our visitors and like align them according to S&D. So that is something that I want to change. So yeah, regarding all your awareness I could think about. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Sabina, for sharing. And I mean, it's really cool that you already are, you already have so many insights about your entity, about how marketing is going, and you're already looking at the way forward. So yeah, I think I was also able to relate like a lot of things that we went through, like we saw in the session. Also, I think, uh, I mean, it was sort of associated with what Sabina mentioned, right? Like with attraction happening very randomly. So that's exactly what we want to avoid right now. That we want to specialize our attraction. That's one of the areas that we want to proceed forward with. So yeah, that's amazing. Thank you, Sabina. And I hope that all of us can also take these conversations forward after this space as well. So yeah, just on a, I mean, just to conclude the entire space. So this is like a quote that I recently saw in like an anime that I was watching, and yeah, and if you are not familiar with it, like anime are not for kids, and yes, this is a live example of how they offer really valuable lessons sometimes. So yeah, the quote goes that they say that anyone can learn from their experiences, but the smartest people learn from history, right? So this session was about the attraction peak review, so things that have already happened, right? So this was history. So now that you know about the history, you can actually take leverage from there, right? So I mean, after this, you can feel free to do your own things. I mean, if need be, make your own mistakes. That is also necessary. But at least the things that we can take forward from what we have already done, so the mistakes that our predecessors have already made, let's not repeat them, and let's not take leverage. I mean, let's take leverage from what we already know. So I hope this session was able to help you in doing this for once. And yeah, on a parting note, this is like my message. As not just as your fatty for this space, but also like sort of like of your co-commission mate. So all of us are going at a transitional time right now. So just, I mean, this is a very important time. This is a very beautiful time right now, and I'm also really enjoying it. So that's why I also wanted to tell you guys to cherish this time, and yeah, do everything that you feel is important for you to do right now for your function, but not just that, even for you as a person, right? Even on a personal level, do these things and do whatever you need to do in order to get yourself prepared to deliver the most kick-ass term ever. So yeah, that will be my parting message. And yeah, with this session is over. I hope I did not take a lot of time from your break, but yeah, in general, I hope that this session was useful or fruitful in terms of you getting to understand what has been happening, and getting the headspace to brainstorm on a way forward for yourself. So yeah, with this we can check out from this space, and I think we have break for another 6 minutes or so, I guess. So you guys can just keep yourself updated on the group and see like whenever we get the link for the next space, so you guys can join for that. So yeah, that's it for the space, and I'll be looking forward to catching up with you guys later on also. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you guys. Thank you.